Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and we're going to Spike's Corner for some Grixis midrange. It's Bolas time, baby. We looked at a Bolas midrangey deck, I think really early when M19 first came out, but it has risen to the top. It is very much a competitive deck, and we're going to play kind of a more refined list of Grixis midrange here. And yeah, not a ton has changed, to be honest. We just tweaked a few numbers. The list right now is what I am using. There's a lot of ways to build this deck and a lot of like metagame choices you can make. Harness Lightnings and Abrades and Whirler Virtuosos. Like there's a ton of options is what I'm trying to say. And what I'm going with today, because it's so varied and I haven't really locked in on a version I like, I tweak my list every day. What I'm playing today is a list from GP Orlando, a recent competitive tournament. The list that I'm playing got third place in that tournament, so it's got a little proven pedigree. As far as straight playing a list that I found online, I think it's a symptom, because I also did this with Jank Tank this week. I think it's a symptom of a little bit of overplay of Magic. I'm so much in my young CGB account making videos there and streaming that I feel more like I'm churning my wheels through videos instead of researching and figuring out what decks and what types I like most. I do plan to get back to that. I want to do that. But right now, I think I need to lean on others to figure out formats. And then I can lean on playing it. So the decision I'm making here is to hold up Supreme Will to stop the Goblin Chain Whirler that I think is on the way. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to try to bait out. I've been seeing a lot of Chain Whirlers today. The Field of Ruin says it's not going to be this turn. So they're going after my red source. I'm going to tap it for a red. And I guess I'll put a stop here. I can't now, right? But yeah, we'll resolve. I think it's going to ask me with a red in my pool before it goes to the next phase. But yeah, we're going to Magma Spray this Kenra with our red source here. And then we'll get a mountain, so we have another. And they want to play Bomat Courier. Do we want to kill the Courier? I guess we can kill both, and we may as well, and save our Supreme Will. So, yep, let's Magma Spray this little guy. And let's braid this little guy. Just get those off the battlefield. And then draw some extra cards with our Siphoner. Start getting ahead that way. Also keeps the pressure really low. Drawing an Aether Hub is very nice. Can make an energy so that our Siphoner can draw again next turn. And we're going to keep holding up our Supreme Will. Notice our opponent did get a mountain, not a swamp. So I am expecting the chains to be whirled. If not, there might be some other powerful 4-drop that we can take out. And a Chandra Torch of Defiance certainly counts. So let's hit that with the Supreme Will.
Regret this.
I don't regret it at all. I thought that was great. All right. Draw an extra card. Draw an extra card. Could stand for a few less lands. I'm nervous about playing out the Champion of Wits, though. The Chain Whirler Blowout could be a bit much. I think instead I'll take the time to cycle some lands. So what would I rather have out, a Canyon Slough or a Fetid Pools? I guess I can pick the Fetid Pools because I'll still have a mountain. And the red is kind of our splash color. And there's a Magma Spray. Alright, well, Siphoner down. No Chain Whirler, so maybe I played around it too much. But I don't think we're giving up too much by not having the champion out there right now. In fact, the champion eating the Magma Spray would be a lot worse. All right, let's make a colorless. Let's make a black. Let's cycle. Nicol Bolas. All right. And again, we're going to need one of those Vraska's Contempts. One card too far away. So close. Oh, but our deck loves us. So we're just going to do this now. Right now, instead of waiting to do it at instant speed. Just because something's an instant doesn't mean you have to do it at instant speed. We don't want our opponent to kill their Rekindling Phoenix with an Abrade. something like that, and then get it back in response to our Contempt. We want to make sure it gets exiled. We want to make sure we get 2 life. I'm hesitant to use my Essence Scatter on this, but I think I better just do it. I think if our opponent had another nice, something like a Glorybringer there, they would have played it. We draw a Scarab God. I think while my opponent has cards in their hand, now is a good time to drop a Bolas on them. And make them discard. They also have to kill this Bolas pretty much right away. If we draw a land, we can flip it. So they discard that Abrade. They did have one. And they have another Rekindling Phoenix. So if we draw land here, it's Bolas time. We do not. However, another Bolas may not end up being the worst. We could bluff attack. The opponent might be too scared to block with their Phoenix, but I think they feel they have to in this situation. The thing is, I could also Bolas away the last card in their hand. So they played this Phoenix. They didn't play a land. We have to assume it's a pretty decent card. If we're going to play our other Bolas anyway to get that last card out of their hand first, then I think the bluff attack is warranted. And the opponent might not have the guts. They've got the guts. Good for them. So Phoenix goes to the graveyard, little token appears. We'll play other Bolas. Get their last card. Ah, it's a mountain. So they kind of got us there by holding that mountain. We're not down a lot though, I'd say. Maybe a turn without the Scarab God. Earthshaker Kenra. I mean, what are they going to do? Race us? They're going to race us. I mean, so I'm going to block. The opponent now is, they have to draw a land to take advantage of that Kenra. And there's a Vraska's Contempt. And like I did before, let's just get rid of the Phoenix now. We're still top deck land away from flipping the Nicol Bolas. Opponent draws a Scrounger. Alright, there's the land. Is that the best play? We could get their Chandra. If killing their Scrounger doesn't do anything, though. Let's see. But Chandra can help us cast the Scarab God and use it next turn, which is a pretty big game. Right, let's go for it. All we know we can.
I have defeated death.
I should get a creature. What should I get? I guess I'll just get the other Bolas. I mean, it's the biggest creature. Oh, I could get their Earthshaker Kenra so they can't internalize it. That's fine. That is a fine play. Now they have to go through their own Kenra. They can't internalize it and pull a big attack out of their rear end, out of their bum cheeks. And they'll scoop it up to that. Probably a lot of ways to play that game. Let's get in and look at the list really quickly. You can find the third place list from Orlando online, of course, but if you want it right here, right for your convenience, we'll put it in the description. There's some parts of it are interesting. We're using the red less. It's not just splashing for Bolas. The red is also very much casting red removal spells early in the game, like Harness Lightning, Abrade, and Magma Spray. Magma Spray instead of Fatal Push is got to be about Scrap Heap Scroungers, Champion of Wits. There's plenty of reasons to exile things right now. In addition to the Vraska's Contempt, Abrade, good against Godpharaoh's Gift, and all kinds of artifacts, vehicles, Hearts of Kirin. Harness Lightning, interesting little energy card to play with Glint-Sleeve Siphoner and help you have energy. Essence Scatter, of course, also plays a big role countering the bigger red creatures, the mythic reds. There's one search for Azcanta, like just a little bit of money. 3 Supreme Wills. So this list really likes Supreme Will more than many, but I love it. I love going Glint-Sleeve into Supreme Will to counter a chain, to at least have cards to counter Chain Whirlers to make Siphoner better. As we saw in the last game, could have come up if my opponent had drawn a Chain Whirler. Champion of the Wits, I'm never a big fan of the card, not like other people. The value's okay, but if we're going to play it, playing 3, I don't feel too mad about that. Feels fine right now. 2 Scarab Gods, 3 Gearhulks, a Liliana, 4 Contempts, Bolas, 27 land, so that we can run all the Cycling Land and a Field of Ruin to have an out against the opponent, and their things like Scavenger Grounds, and their things like Waskally, search for Azcantas. So, a very high land count. Very, very high. But so far, so good. Let's keep it going. Getting a double take on that music. Oh, Arena. You never cease to impress me with the weirdness of your music. Whether it's like warping remixes when I open packs, or whether it just disappears in the middle of the game, or if they just play the same music clip twice as we enter a game. So there's Search for Azcanta. The one of showing up. We could just play the mountain. Early sequencing, not sure why I would do different. I guess I could have played the Summit, so I might play a Glint-Sleeve Siphoner if I drew one. That's probably the best thing I can think of. You can wait on harnessing this. I can get search going right now. Let's start curating these draws, making sure we get the right cards to compete. Good old red. One thing I don't think we have much of in this deck is life gain, which could be a problem. Oh, I'm going to keep you. I think countering some of the bigger red cards for a while is going to be the name of this game. Not running out our Champion of Wits. It'd be pretty aggressive to just strike there, but hey, I've been that aggressive. I know how it goes. Crasher. We could counter the Crasher. Or we could Lightning the Crasher. But something's got to deal with Bomat Courier. I'm going to counter this Crasher. And I'm going to hope to find a Magma Spray. Like I said, without life gain, I can't think of anything in the deck that gains life. Like absolute 0. That means we got to value our life total more than normal. Oh, I say that, and then this guy shows up. Okay, so we got something. I think what that means is, now that I've drawn this, perhaps I want to harness Lightning now because I can clean up whatever comes next. But I don't think letting my opponent... Yeah, they're at 3, so they draw a card, they go up to 6. Say they play a card and a spell. They're down to 4. Then say they play another spell. They're down to 3, and then the attack can do it. It's tough, but I think I wait with this Supreme Will for another turn. It's really close. You could say that I'm supposed to harness Lightning there. Well, they're doing this before attacks now. That, to me, means I can go for this harness Lightning. My opponent will resolve something, probably a Chandra, and then I have Vraska's Contempt to clean it up. Oops, cancel. This one. So we'll do this with the trigger on the stack. Right now they'd have to exchange 3 cards. And I even get 2 energy. Alright. So let's see if they've got that Chandra we talked about. Phoenix, Hazoret. Yep, Hazoret fits right in. God, these have been these are solid against a red deck that is trying to empty their hand and play big cards. So if they're playing a bunch of 4-drops, this is really good. Our opponents are ways off of Hazoreting us. So I'm not in a rush to Contempt them. That's annoying. What else you got? Strike you. Sure. One more, huh? Well, at least they used all that before it buffed their Soulscar Mage, and now we can Contempt the Hazoret. Does leave our Supreme Wills in an awkward spot, as we didn't have anything else 4 mana to counter. But our opponent very well could have another Hazoret in hand. And at least they're a Soulscar Mage right now, just a 1/2. It's going to be hard to pump it without all that gas in the hand. Alright, end step, let's top 4. Since nothing's happening, and we want to flip our search for Azcanta. We find an Abrade. We're at 6, let's go ahead and fire it off. Our opponent would need 2 instant speed burn spells. And they don't have them. So graveyard, transform. We could play our Champ of Wits. But I really rather like my hand right now. This is the problem with Champion of Wits, is I almost never want to play it. And I also like keeping the rest of my things open. So yeah, I'm going to pass turn. Because that lets me search for Azcanta, which I like doing better than Champ of Wits. Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't. That didn't work out at all. Alright, let's Bolas them. We'll still have an Abrade open. And they have to find a way to kill Bolas pretty quick. If we draw a land, it flips. And we've just hit 5 non-lands in a row in a deck that typically runs 27. Look at this clumping, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and we just drew a land. So, super clumps. Alright, can the opponent empty their hand here? They have a Magma Spray. I'm guessing they have an Abrade. Another Magma Spray, okay. And the last card that gets discarded is an Abrade, yeah. So, all that removal destroyed by 1 Bolas. Yep, I'll just destroy this now. Before the opponent gets to see more cards. And I guess I'll play this now. I still like my hand, though. Like, what am I going to do with it? But, Maybe the big thing about learning to love Champion of Wits is just you slam it and you figure it out from there. Gearhulk and Contempt. I'm going to discard the Contempt, and I'm going to discard the Supreme Will. And then I'm going to Gearhulk so I can use the Contempt. I mean, that's... God, I hate discarding anything there. Yep. Say no. Just say no to these drugs, kids. Just take everything away from them, all their toys. Guess we could get a Supreme Will. May as well. I probably may have an Abrade here, but whatever. I think right now we just stay proactive every single turn, make the most of every turn. We can always grind them out later. Let's get really aggressive. Scarab God, what you got? Scoops! We got scoops is what we got. Appropriate. Appropriate. Alright. That was a fun little dismantling of a red deck. Let's see if we can do it again. Proper mid-range. It can be aggressive when it needs to. It can be control when it needs to. Rematch. See if the opponent's in for a rematch. It's been a long time since I got an arena rematch, but we know that they're a capable player with a full-blown red deck, and they're on the play. So this is hard. Let's, yeah, we've got removal, and a counter, and a Bolas. I think I can keep it, but we're going to take some early hits. There you go. A Magma Spray would have been, of course, the dream, but I don't think we can just mulligan into a Magma Spray. Right. Get our tap land out of the way. Do they have a Kenra? Doesn't look like it. Don't want to play our Siphoner. It'll just get shot. Just get shot. Siphoner is kind of a... It's more of a late game card against red. You don't want to bring it out until resources are pretty exhausted. Our opponent might be thinking about lightning striking our face. And here it comes. Alright, they go to attacks. I think I'll just wait till end step. I'll let him have one more card under this Courier. But I might need to counter something. Especially with them on the play. Yeah, they're going for a Chain Whirler. We'll scat that. We'll untap. We'll Abrade this now, before it gets any better for our opponent. And now we'll see what they play. They need a big play. A Chandra, a Rekindling Phoenix, things like that. Yep, they got it. They found it.
I knew you needed my help. Oh, today's my lucky day.
Whoo! And there's the draw. So we will... How to handle. So having a Supreme Will, we might want to do something like take 2 from this Chandra, Supreme Will, their other good card, like a Glorybringer, and then Vraska's Contempt the Chandra. On the other hand, I really want to play Bolas on back-to-back turns. Opponent can minus the Chandra to kill the Bolas. Then they play one of the 2 cards in their hand, and then hopefully we Bolas another card. It's pretty tough. But I think it's the play. Yeah. And if our opponent minuses to hit the Bolas, then it's going to feel extra bad. Alright, they lose a mountain. But that can still matter. That can still constrict what they're able to do this turn, which might make Bolas hit a good card next turn. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have 2 Bolases. I don't like seeing a Bolas fall to a Chandra that way. Plus giving our opponent another turn of playing out cards. And their last card's a Chain Whirler. So Bolas will not hit another card. That's unfortunate. But here we go. Now we got a 4/4 flyer. Let's see what our opponent can pull off with the Chandra. My hope is I can kill Chandra with the Bolas. It's not always easy for a red deck to deal with a 4 toughness creature, and they just pulled another land, so now they're off the top.
This is gonna hurt.
Abrade? That's not going to do it. I mean, they can cast it, and then they can get in a free attack with their Goblin Chain Whirler, but Bolas will take down this Chandra, as long as I don't block. And guess what? Not gonna. And now we have Vraska's Contempt for the Chain Whirler, if that's what we decide to use it on. But we'll leave up our mana. And I'm going to take this damage. And nothing happens. So I will Supreme Will. I want to save the Contempt. I want to make my opponent find out a way to fight through my Nicol Bolas first. So I could take a land. It opens up some options. We do need lands anyway, but I think I just want to make sure I have tons of threats. I'm going to trust that I'm going to draw lands anyway the longer the game goes. If I draw spells, that's good. If I draw lands, that's good. So there's a land. Paid off right away. I think I just... God, they've only got 1 hit card. I think I just make them deal with this Bolas and continue to add resources. Yeah, I'll use the Supreme Will for another turn, or I'll have Vraska's Contempt available. Yeah, this is an interesting spot. A lot of ways to play it. But I think taking my time is good. Look at the opponent here. They're not going to attack. They've got strike. So the only... Yeah, let's go for it. Top 4. A lot of good cards there. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll take the Gearhulk to combine with the Vraska's Contempt for the most possible life and deal with the most possible things. I've also been getting pretty lucky to just draw lands like that. Alright, so now I have a Contempt, I have an Essence Scatter, and I have a Gearhulk. Still, not comfortable. Gonna try to drag this out a bit. As long as I get to use all my cards, I should be able to win. But I've got to make sure I live that long. Here's a Bomat Courier. Our opponent can sack that to draw an extra card. That's fine. See if they sack or if they try to team up to kill the Bolas. Alright, another mountain down. Opponent with a land heavy draw for sure. Alright. Time to fire at will. Okay, Gearhulk City is about to begin. Pretty much any threat they play is going to get Vraska's Contempt. Okay. And a Crasher, wow. Alright, here it comes. Alright. And that might just prompt a concession. It's one of those really nasty blowouts, but we'll Contempt the Kenra, we'll block the Crasher. The Kenra can come back from the graveyard, so we need it exiled. Alright, put that out. And I guess just hold up a Gearhulk. I don't think anything can go wrong while we do that. Well, Vulture Biker, got anything up there, up your sleeve? Nope. Not this time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little trip to Spike's Corner and this particularly spiky Grixis midrange list. I really like the list. It's going a lot better for me than other lists I had built before, especially against very aggressive decks. See, as far as against Turbo Fog, things like that, you gotta hope that your disruptive elements carry you. The Supreme Wills and their multiple functionality, I'm liking a lot better than Doomfalls at this point. It's really working for me. I like what's going on in the build. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back next week with our usual shows. We do, on Monday, the second tier, decks just outside the top, competitive decks. On Tuesday, we do Tribal Times, which is the most tribal, fun tribal decks. On Wednesday, we try to do the Jank Tank, ridiculously janky, crazy combos and brews. And then Thursday, the plan is for Spike's Corner, for the most aggressive and spiky decks. I say for the plan because this week we had a technical snafu and everything got pushed back a day. Jank Tank was yesterday, Spike's Corner today, but at least you still got it for the weekend. Enjoy your Friday Night Magics. Good luck at your events. I will see you later.